What we're talking about now is the pendulum sweep. There's versions where I can hold his wrist and go underneath his leg, hold his elbow and go underneath his leg, hold his head and underneath his leg, and then ultimately getting all the way around, grabbing 2 fingers in the armpit and being inside of his leg as well. All of them ending in either an arm bar or a mount position. The fundamental pendulum. Okay, so I want to talk about that, and then I want to talk about the difference between being here in control and holding the elbow and the wrist in guard, and having this position here where I have an arm drag. And then lastly, what I really want to stress is getting all up in his business and pushing up into him with an arm and having the arm drag position. Okay? This is different than standing. Right? Like if Corey and I are standing, right? If Corey and I are standing and I do an arm drag, you touch my shoulder. If I do an arm drag, we're typically away from each other until I start chasing his hip or his back. And there's no pause. It's like, it's a fast movement, or I can actually chase a single leg and rise up. Yeah, he could fall, he could also rise up, right? So either way though, it's not a clinch. It's not like this. So this guard control that I have with this arm drag is not from a distance of 2-on-1, and it's not from a distance here. Can you pull out of that? Right? And just swivel your hand though, right? That's just insane. Now can you pull your arm out? So he's stuck there, okay? And you can't really reach for this other arm, because if you ever reach for this other arm, it's like too far. Yeah, not that way, this one around the back. Yeah, so like you don't want to get caught up doing that. But if he ever does reach, he becomes susceptible to getting his back taken. I'm getting that upper back grip starting to shift. So we're gonna combine that real quick with a couple things. I'm sitting up and going for the arm drag, and I'm all up in his business. And then we're gonna go for the arm bar, because we've actually been talking about pendulum arm bars recently, and I grab his lat. I'm gonna pull him down, and I have control now with his arm and with the lat. I can walk and climb up his shoulders, having the leg that's over his shoulder be on bottom, and I'll transfer my hand from over his head and then be able to push away, and I have an arm bar with the arm drag in place. Super tight. I recommend, this is not like where you hold the wrist. Okay, so if he pulled away, I have an arm bar. If he stacks me, that's how he's gonna wanna defend the arm bar. So if he were to pressure in though, and I remove my leg, that arm drag would come. And I'll show that again. So again, I'm arm drag, I'm up in his business this way. I actually take my hips are sucked all the way into his belly button right now. And you'll notice that my hips slide out from under him. So this is like I'm under you, but I'll actually try to slide my hips out so I'm sitting a little bit more balanced. I grab his 2 fingers in the lat, and I'm pulling his arm across, and I'd like to reach all the way underneath, having the arm drag still held with my elbow and having the 2 fingers in the armpit. I'll start to go across his face if I need to, or I could stay here. But either way, I'm gonna take my foot on the armpit, on the hip, clamp his back super high. Some people will even grab, and I'm just staying with the fingers in the armpit for now, and I can lock his shoulder. Now I can come over the head, and I have an arm bar. I also have a drag. Notice his arm straight across. When I come out for this drag, I'm gonna wanna pull him in a 45-degree angle. So instead of just forward, like when I come up, you'll notice that I'll have a little bit of a rotation in Corey's body, right? From here, he postures a little bit. I can have my leg over his face after the elbow in that case, right? But if he comes towards me, I drag and I pull him to the side a little bit so he's off balance. And I'm really far underneath him. What a lot of people do is they'll struggle right here, trying to get up. And I'm hip to hip on Corey. My shoulders are like even or below his shoulders. My head's not above his head. So this means that Corey can, if you go on your hands, bud, right, man, he can grab my wrist, he can grab my head, he can do anything to try to like grab my wrist and don't let me take your back. You know, so yeah, he'll do stuff like that to prevent me from being able to drag. So the key is to get my arms away from Corey. So I'm up, right? And in this case, if I were to just drag without doing the pendulum, I can post my feet and my hand, and then I'm able to drag. But the key is I'll put 2 fingers in the armpits again, and then I'll take my hands away from him and slide my legs into the guard position with my hips super high. This allows me to put my hook in on top. Now I can back up. I'm in the turtle position with underhooks, head control. You can seat belt. You do all that ninja stuff you want. So let's get the arm bar and the drag one more time. Put it all together. 2 on 1. I sit up. I'm here. Oh, let's talk about the 2 on 1. So like hold my ribs real tight. So if I'm like this, it gets very difficult if I'm in this spoon position, like you're supposed to be in the guard. It's hard for me to get his grips to go from one side to the other. It's hard to even initiate until I lift my hips. So I'll lift my hips up, and this will be able to turn his arm in the negative time, right? So that's something I'll do for like straighten this way, right? Elbow on my hip, he's digging in with his elbow. I can't just pull it away. I lift and then drag it into the negative space. So that's something else that I'm doing. So he's pressed on me here, and I'm gonna go make myself a board and then drop it. Now I can get this as he retracts. See this armpit grip nice and deep. I'm gonna scoot my butt away a little bit. This time I'm grabbing the armpit, pulling him down. Foot on the hip, lock the face, or I can drag. When I drag, I'm gonna take this armpit grip in my hand and move further away from him, trying to put my hips on his back instead of trying to climb up from here where he can push into me. So I climb up the back and I'm higher up on him. Now I can go underneath or I can back up, be in control this way, drop bombs, seatbelt, whatever you wanna do. I guess that's good.